So people ask me all the time, what e-bike? Dave, what e-bike should I buy? And I think the real question wants to be, what e-bike should you avoid? And honestly, I think it comes down to a lot more than the brand name that's on the side of that bike. So the e-bikes I would avoid are the ones that don't fit your body, doesn't fit your riding style, maybe doesn't fit your car or your storage, really your need. Also, I'd avoid one you can't get repaired when you need to. So let's talk about the 5 types of e-bikes I'd think twice about before spending your hard-earned money. Number 1, I'd avoid that e-bike that nobody can fix. This one's tough because I get calls almost every day at the bike shop from people asking to work on all kinds of direct-to-consumer e-bikes. And I'd say about 90% of those people get turned away. And that's honestly heart-wrenching for me because I know a lot of those folks spent good money on that bike. But if we can't get the controller, the display, the wiring harness, or just the right replacement parts, there isn't much we can do. It's a no-win situation for everybody. The customer still has a broken e-bike, and the shop looks like the bad guy for not fixing it. Check out that video I made last week about why bike shops refuse to work on some e-bikes. And this is why repair support really matters. Before you buy an e-bike, ask yourself who's going to fix it when something goes wrong. Number 2, I'd avoid buying an e-bike just because it has the biggest motor, the biggest battery, or the fastest top speed. I own 5 e-bikes. One of them is a mid-drive I built myself, and that bike will go way over 35 miles an hour. But the e-bike I ride the most is a simple 500-watt rear hub drive commuter-style e-bike called a Mach-Wheel Asphalt. Why? Because it's comfortable. It has a torque-sensing drivetrain, so it feels natural when I pedal. It's got fenders, racks, lights, comfort grips, and I added a suspension seat post to make it even more comfortable. I've never worried about range. It's never broken down on me. Technically, it is a Class 3 e-bike, but most of the time, I'm riding around at less than 15 miles an hour. And I just enjoy riding it. And that's the point. The best e-bike isn't always the fastest. It's the one you actually want to get on and ride. Number 3, I'd be careful with big, heavy e-bikes. This is one reason I don't personally own a fat tire e-bike. That doesn't mean a fat tire e-bike is bad. I've owned them, and some people love them. And for certain uses, they make sense. But e-bikes are heavy. They're big. They're awkward. And if you have a vision of transporting that bike, storing it, lifting it, loading it onto a rack, or servicing it yourself, weight and space matter. So before you fall in love with a big, heavy e-bike online, think about real life. Where are you going to store it? Can you get it onto your rack? Can you safely lift it? Because if a bike is too heavy to deal with, the bike just might sit around. Number 4, I'd avoid buying an e-bike without knowing what job you want it to do. Bikes have always been built for a purpose. Road bikes, commuters, comfort bikes, cargo bikes, they can cross over a little bit, but they don't all shine at the same thing. So for me, I absolutely love sightseeing with my wife on e-bikes. National parks, rails to trails, scenic pathways. We even plan trips around riding these bikes. For those types of trips, we ride comfort cruisers, an upright seating position, swept back handlebars, torque sensing drivetrains because we like to pedal, racks, fenders, lights, just a lot of things that make that ride more comfortable. Because that's what fits our use case. But if you're into commuting every day, you might need something different. If you're riding mountain bike trails, your needs are definitely different. If you're hauling kids, groceries, or camping gear, that's going to point you into another direction. So before you ask, what's the best e-bike? Ask, what do I want this e-bike to do most of the time? Because the wrong e-bike isn't always a bad e-bike. It just might be the wrong tool for the job. And that's really the point of this whole video. The wrong e-bike isn't the cheapest one. It's the one that doesn't fit your body, your life, your riding, or your repair options. So number 5, I would never buy an e-bike without test riding a whole bunch of them. I wouldn't even just go to one shop. I'll tell customers all the time, go to Ernie's place down the road, ride a bike. Why do I say this? I truly believe when you get on the right e-bike, it almost talks to you. It says, uncomfortable. This will work. But that only happens if you test ride different e-bikes. You need to feel the riding position. You need to feel how the motor comes on. You need to feel the brakes, the steering, the weight, the step-through height, the seat, the handlebars, and the way it fits your body. A spec sheet isn't going to tell you those things. A website isn't going to tell you those things either. Heck, even YouTube videos like this one can only take you so far. Here's the big takeaway. Just don't buy the e-bike with the biggest motor, the biggest battery, or the coolest looking tires. Buy the e-bike that fits how you ride. Buy the e-bike you can handle, store, transport, maintain, and get service. And most importantly, buy the e-bike that feels good enough that you'll actually ride it. Because you won't ride a bike if you're uncomfortable. And comfort builds confidence. So if you're shopping for an e-bike, I would think more about how you're going to use that bike. Test riding as many bikes as you can get on, and then make sure somebody can fix that bike if something goes wrong. That's the kind of e-bike I would recommend.